Bearded vulture, the most impressive bird of prey. Of all the creatures of the land, sea, and sky, few are as fascinating and awe-inspiring as birds of prey. For mankind, these birds usually inspire a wide range of virtues, from the strength of the eagle and the intelligence of the hawk to the speed of the falcon and the wisdom of the owl. Vultures, on the other hand, have had a pretty bad rap in terms of human symbology, unless bloodthirsty cunning and opportunism are virtues where you're from. However, today's video aims to set the record straight. Our focus today is on a creature that is not only the most majestic and beautiful in the vulture family, but one of the most impressive and intelligent birds around. Without further ado, we bring you the bearded vulture. The bearded vulture, aka ossifrage, lammergeier, or Japetus barbatus, occupies a confusing position in the vulture family tree. It falls under one of the two Old World vulture subfamilies, Japeatinae, under the Accipitridae family of birds of prey. However, Japeatinae species are genetically closer to snake-hunting raptors of Cercaetinae than to the true Old World vulture subfamily of Aegyptiinae. Genetic proximity has seen some taxonomists argue that the bearded vulture ought to be classified along Pernini hawks rather than Old World vultures. That said, despite DNA, the ossifrage still displays the same opportunistic scavenger traits synonymous with the term vulture. There are two officially recognized subspecies, Japetus barbatus and Japetus barbatus meridionalis. Bearded vultures are big birds, and they rank among the 10 largest extant birds of prey, although their exact position is widely debated. Adults have a standing height range of 37 to 49 inches, and a wingspan range of 7.6 to 9 feet. Weight-wise, they range between 9.9 and 17 pounds. The barbatus subspecies tends to be the larger of the two, but not by much. As a whole, the species is sexually dimorphic. Females are a little bit bigger than males. They are long, elegant birds that have a slightly hunched stature. The bearded vulture is fairly easy to distinguish among other birds of prey during flight. For starters, they have a diamond-shaped tail, which is quite rare. Most other raptors have wedge-shaped or even forked tails. The tail is pretty long, measuring between 16 to 21 inches. Bearded vultures also have relatively narrow wings for birds of their size. Other vultures have fairly wide wings. On the ground, their large feet are used for waddling from point to point, a funny contrast to their grace in the air. Adults of the species are a combination of lightish brown, gray, white, and black. The face is covered in creamy brown feathers, while the eyes are surrounded by narrow black streaks. The back and wings are dark gray with licks of white and cream. The breast and leg feathers are light to rusty brown or even orange. Juveniles are mostly dark gray and black, but blotches of cream and white emerge on their bodies as they mature. Like their parents, young bearded vultures have light beaks. The species also has black bristles under the beak, hence the name bearded vulture. These birds are strong flyers, and they are officially recognized as the 6th highest flying bird species in the world and the 2nd highest among vultures. They can reach altitudes of 24,000 feet or 7,300 meters. The only vulture that flies higher is the Rupel's vulture, the highest flying bird in the world, which reaches a staggering 37,000 feet. Along with this tremendous flight power, the bearded vulture boasts incredible eyesight. The vulture can see 4 times better than a human, and this tool is priceless for finding food, shelter, and reproductive opportunities. Their sense of hearing is quite good as well. Like most birds, though, the bearded vulture has a fairly poor sense of smell. Socially, bearded vultures are generally solitary, but they will pair up to mate and rear chicks together. They may also congregate around large meals, but this is rare because of their strict territorialism. They live most of their lives in silence, but will make mating calls and call their chicks when nesting. Adult birds have no natural predators, with humans being their only consistent threat. However, eggs and chicks are vulnerable to nest-raiding snakes, lizards, and fellow birds. Non-flying chicks sometimes fall to their deaths from their lofty nests. The bearded vulture has an average estimated lifespan of around 21 years in the wild, but captive birds can live to more than twice that. Sexual maturity is reached at 5 years old, and females lay 1 or 2 eggs. 3-egg clutches are extremely rare, but possible. The species has played a role in various modern and ancient cultures. In Iranian mythology, People who happened to be overshadowed by a bearded vulture were believed to be marked for rulership. Simply seeing one was a sign of good fortune, and killing one was regarded as a divine death sentence to the offender. The bearded vulture has also played interesting roles in Greek and Jewish lore. Habitat. The bearded vulture is scattered across an immense range. They live as far north as the Himalayas and as far south as South Africa. The greatest population are in the Middle East, Central Asia, China, and Nepal. They are also found as far west as the French Pyrenees. Jupaetus barbatus is typically found in North Africa, the Middle East, and Eurasia. Jupaetus barbatus meridionalis dwells in Eastern and South Africa, with tiny populations living in the Arabian Peninsula. All bearded vultures love high altitudes, and they are native to many of the Old World's mountain ranges. Bar special circumstances, they spend most of their lives above 3,000 feet. Himalayan vultures even live and breed at 24,000 feet. In Europe, they can be found in the Alps, the Pyrenees, and the Caucasus Mountains. A few individuals have been spotted in the UK, but there is no evidence that they nest there. In the Middle East, they live in Afghanistan's Baba mountain range, Iran's Alborz Mountains, and the Zagros Mountains that border Iran, Iraq, and Turkey. In Asia, your best bet is the Altai Mountains, Ladakh in India and Pakistan, the Himalayas, and several mountain ranges in western and central China. In Africa, there are the Atlas Mountains of Morocco, the Ethiopian highlands in the east, as well as mountainous regions in Tanzania, Kenya, Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The species is also being reintroduced in regions where it is believed to have gone extinct. Spain and South Africa are leading the charge in this regard, with numbers growing steadily. The bearded vulture prefers high-altitude environments because their plumage is built to endure the chilly weather. They also nest in caves, outcrops, and sheer cliffs to make life difficult for would-be predators. They are generally territorial birds and can be greatly scattered. Migration may occur in cases of too much competition for resources, but this is rare. Diet. The bearded vulture is a fairly diverse eater compared to most other vulture species. However, true to its name, most of its diet consists of carrion, the rotting flesh of dead animals. These birds can't get enough of the stuff, and they will soar to incredible heights to get a glimpse of dead or near-dead meat. Once they spot a meal, they circle in classic vulture fashion, descend onto the scene, and begin feasting. A large part of their diet consists of mammals, particularly ungulates like wild sheep, mountain goats, ibex, chamois, mountain reedbuck, and goral left behind by hunters like wolves, snow leopards, and other birds of prey. They will also eat the remains of these predators. Bearded vultures have extremely acidic stomach juices, with recorded pH levels of 1. This allows them to safely consume meat that is weeks and even months gone, even after bugs and bacteria have had enough of it. This efficient digestive system is even enough to dissolve solid bone in a day. In fact, bearded vultures seem to prefer eating bones rather than actual meat. This makes them the only birds that thrive on bones and their precious marrow. Their powerful beaks can even break a mountain lamb's femur. For larger, tougher bones, the bearded vulture has developed a simple yet effective solution. They will pick up the bone in question and soar to heights of almost 500 feet above ground before dropping it onto rocks. They will repeat this until the bone cracks into smaller pieces and yields its sweet, sweet marrow. A bearded vulture can carry bones as heavy as itself. This bone-breaking tactic is why the bearded vulture is also called the ossifrage, which is Middle French for bone breaker. Juvenile bearded vultures actually eat more meat and skin than their bone-munching parents. Bone breaking is a skill that requires a lot of time to master, and even young vultures that can fly struggle with it. Non-flying chicks have their meals brought home by mom and dad. The birds also feed on the carrion of dead birds and reptiles, although these are much rarer finds. Unlike most other vultures, bearded vultures also engage in active predation of live animals. They go after rabbits, dassies, and even young ungulates. Anything the vulture cannot pick up and drop to the rocks is aggressively nudged off steep ledges so it may fall to its death. Bearded vultures also love tortoises, and they will use their bone-breaking skills to deliver a grisly death to their shelled quarry. They will also hunt other birds like partridges and pigeons. Bearded vultures will also raid human dump sites for easy meals. In Ethiopia, they even come down as far as 1,000 feet to raid garbage. Conservation status. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, has classified the bearded vulture as near threatened since 2014. However, it may be brought back to least concern status if current conservation efforts continue. According to the Vulture Conservation Foundation, it is Europe's most endangered vulture species. As of 2022, there are 465 wild breeding pairs on the continent. Globally, the Vulture Conservation Foundation's generous estimates suggest there are nearly 7,000 wild bearded vultures. Their solitary lifestyle and slow reproductive cycles are the main hindrance to conservation. A female will only mate again after her chicks gain independence, which takes 2 years. However, reintroduction efforts in Europe have seen the bearded vulture return in all its glory. South Africa has also followed suit by introducing the birds to the Drakensberg region. Relationship with humans. Humans and vultures tend to coexist peacefully for the most part, mainly because of the bird's remote habitats and the rare predation on livestock. However, the species has suffered greatly from human infrastructure development and other activities. They frequently collide with power lines and die from accidental poisoning by consuming food meant for pests and nuisance carnivores like eagles. People generally avoid eating the species due to reverence or abhorrence. Judeo-Christian text explicitly forbids eating them, while many other cultures revere them as sacred.